All right, live from Studio 6B on a Monday night, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. Not Real America's Voice right now, but on all social media, YouTube, X, Twitter, Rumble, Facebook, Getter, wherever you're watching on socials, we're glad you're in. It seems like I guess we're not on the network I just got news of, but that's fine.
Nope.
Okay.
I don't know whatever. We're on socials, though, and we're glad you're here. The YouTubes. We're on the YouTubes. You know, it means we can say anything we want here.
Yeah. Oh, okay, good.
Paul,
Free reign.
Got no pressure on him for a little.
The problem is the transition, though. When we go on the network, we have to worry.
Yes, Paul, whenever we say we've joined Real America's Voice,
just cut my mic.
Shut it down.
Just cut the
Yeah. Slickster's here. He's going to do some sports. Slickster, how are you?
I'm doing great, baby.
Well, you're all fired up tonight coming in here.
I am fired up.
Yeah, why?
I'm fired up because
Did you
what
have a nice
happened
day
over.
today?
Well, I saw you were on. I wanted to jump on the internet with you, but I was out with a couple of liberal friends. I wanted to jump on Saturday night when you put the call out.
Man, yeah.
Oh my God, that was priceless. I was listening to it. They're like, "What are you watching?" I'm on my friends on TV. But anyway, I couldn't.
That's all right. Vinnie Mac joined me for a little bit on that surprise stream. It was
a good stream.
I had 7,000 people on there. Really? I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
As obviously the president took the action that he took on Saturday night. And I mean, we'll go back to that in a second. Well, so Slick, everything was good? Weekend was good?
Weekend was great. Real good. Got hot over the weekend.
Whoa, man, it get hot today. Whew.
Yeah, but all good. Snip took my wife out for a little dinner the other night because we were our 31st anniversary of going to a certain restaurant on our first date. So we went back. And of course, I think the same people still work there. Pasta and Port Chef.
Really?
Yeah, we love that
love
place.
Pasta
Oh, my favorite restaurant in the world.
Yeah.
Love it.
Very good.
So very nice.
All right, so Rick Delgado's here. How are you?
What is that? Why do you got to go there?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
How was your weekend?
Yeah, how was your weekend?
My weekend was good. Why?
Yeah. What
What's
happened?
the problem?
What were you doing Saturday night?
I was out.
Get down on it.
He was out Saturday night. He was having his own Operation Midnight Hammered. That's why he couldn't jump on.
What do you mean, Operation?
He was getting hammered.
Operation 2 a.m. hammer?
You know how many people sent me sent me things on social about Operation Midnight Hammer, and
yes,
the original Midnight Hammer picture, of course, is Pelosi at the front door.
Yes.
I must have gotten 100 of those.
Yeah.
You okay, Paul?
Yeah,
okay, good.
Well, now
We're
we know.
on socialist, though, Paul, so it doesn't
We know
matter.
Delgado was onto something with all those. What even is that?
Now we know for sure that President Trump watches the show.
Yep.
Simple as that.
He nailed it.
Of course. It was an inspiration, and I'm proud to be an inspiration for any of his exploits, where he wants to flex a little muscle and keep people in line. I'm fine.
What were you flexing this weekend? Anything?
We really
Some
are
dance
on
moves or
social.
whatever.
I was flexing tequila, as a matter of fact.
Oh, tequila.
Nice. All right, very good.
I was out. I met some people from work. The people I work with. The cool people I work with.
Who
How
drove?
was he?
Who drove home? You didn't drive home, did you?
And and unfortunately, I was just far too busy in my private life to join you online, David.
Well, that's fine. I didn't expect any of you to. I just put it out there in case you wanted to. Paul Nolan's here. Mr. Nolan, how was your weekend?
It was great. I do not do a great merengue like Delgado does, but I can
His merengue's a lemon.
But I was out Fire Island.
Really?
Oh,
Finally got
Man,
the
you guys
boat out.
have way more exciting
Finally,
lives
after
than me.
2 years. Last summer I used it 0, and this summer the first time.
Nice.
The weather's so we took it over there, spent the night.
Sailor.
We had 10 friends over there. We were cutting the rug a little
Do
bit.
you play Jimmy Buffett when you go on the boat?
Actually, sometimes I do.
All right, very good.
But actually, on the way there, I was listening to a rock band called Rival Sons, if anyone's ever heard of them.
No.
They kick butt.
Really?
Really good band.
All right, very
they
good.
do a lot of that over there.
Yeah, exactly.
Fire Island.
Do a what? What'd you say?
Nothing. We're having our own fun
They do
here.
a lot of that.
Having our own show here.
Fire Island there.
Doing a lot of what over at Fire Island?
Well,
So you know they do stuff with
it's a great place. Yep.
You have to,
Wait,
you
what
have
are
to
you
tell
talking
them.
about?
You have to tell them what you identify as you reach the pier.
Yeah, you definitely do.
Hey, we didn't say that word.
That
What
doesn't
word
work
did
at
you
Ocean
say?
Beach or Ocean Bay Park.
No, you're okay there. That's a straight. That place is straight and
by the
narrow.
way, you know what we call that place now? The land of no.
Yeah.
You can't
Well,
have
they've
a
been calling it that for
burrito.
30 years.
You can't do anything there.
No, you can't. No radio. No this. No flip flops. Nothing.
fun.
No fun.
Nothing.
No alcohol.
Nothing. Like you legit like you get your own personal cop assigned to you.
No demonstrations. Thank God for that. Oh man, That is funny.
Let's say hi to everybody in the chat. Welcome on in, as we are only on socials right now: YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, X.
What is it? Charlie Kirk is doing a special.
I guess.
I guess. Rav went with. Okay.
I have no idea. No one told me. Aaron told me about 30 seconds before we went to air.
Yes.
I said, that's fine.
I gotta be honest with you.
We're gonna do our thing no matter what.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, since we're not on the network, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'd rather go to the other part of Fire Island, get some free drinks from some old guys. I mean, I gotta be honest with you.
Yeah.
I bought
When they're
so
trying to
many
push the
drinks
stool
for
in
so
for
many
you
girls
in the bar.
struck
Yeah.
out so many times in my life. I get some.
That's an old
I want some
joke.
payback.
We're not on the network. I gotta have fun.
Oh man! Hello to everybody in the chat who's saying, "Man, it's going so fast. I can't even pick up all the names."
Quite cheeky of you, Paul.
That's good.
Wherever you're watching, appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Thumbs up.
Crazy. We gotta get the wheels on.
Damon, is that color salmon? Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
That goes with it
He's going
too.
to Fire Island.
I'd say salmon. I'm
Plenty
heading to
of
Fire
salmon
Island.
over there,
I'm
too.
heading to Fire Island tonight.
Salmon, right? Yeah. Okay.
Right after the show. I
What's
want to make
going
sure.
on here?
So,
man.
The wheels are rough.
I'm in a bar hanging with youngins, hot chicks and stuff. You guys are off on Fire Island.
What is this, therapy?
What the hell is going on?
yeah, exactly. What is this, therapy? Well, let's get to the important stuff. Well, I mean, I tell you. So I went live Saturday night after all this. After I saw this tweet from the president, which was, I mean, just one of those moments of like you have to look at it twice.
Yeah.
Because as Jennifer Griffin said, and we talked about on the stream, I think it was about 2-3 hours I was live, like 7,000 people watching. She's never seen such operational security as what was around this mission. And when the president put that tweet out saying we have officially, I looked at it and thought, wait, what? And looked at it again and went, holy Christmas.
Yeah, we talked about that Friday night.
We listen.
We were on it.
I mean, I don't want to because let's hope. It doesn't matter, right, wrong, where you stood. That really, at this point, we all hope for world peace. We hope what we're about to read here is holding. But having said that, if we go back and put together a highlight reel of this whole thing since it started to kind of drum up, we have been way closer to exactly right than anything else.
I think we've
on
been
all
good,
of this. Friday, we left the warehouse saying, wouldn't surprise us. He's going to New Jersey. Everyone's got their eye off the ball. Looks like he's going for a relaxing weekend.
Yeah.
On the golf
Wouldn't
course.
surprise me at all if something happened.
I think you said the key verbiage in Trump's thing was within. No, it was you.
Yeah.
Within 2
Within 2
weeks.
weeks.
Not in 2 weeks, within 2 weeks.
Right. Within was the key word. I heard that too.
Which
Because-
opened up the doorway for the sneak attack.
Right, because with the 60 days, he gave him a hard 60-day. This is your 60 days. 61, he walked out and said, "Okay, you're on your own," and we saw what happened with Israel next. And then, again, it's always going to be. You got to listen to how they couch these things.
Yeah.
And it gives them that flexibility, that latitude, right? Of what they're going to do, and again, it keeps. And he's been good at doing this, from his first term on, and I'm sure he's been doing it for his entire life. With his negotiation, is he'll put things in a certain way, which gives him the latitude to make certain moves if he needs to, and to get people to kind of react and see what they do, to figure out, okay, where's my best leverage point from this point if that happens.
But you got to believe the mullah translated, explain that to them too, though. They had to know it was coming any time now.
I don't know.
Oh, definitely. If we figured it out, the mullah's best interpreter didn't know. Unless he was eating a falafel.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I mean, here's another thing that we were talking about, and I know I raised it up. When the previous Friday, when we were talking about the Israel strike in Iran, right? What did I bring up that I was dumbfounded that they had somehow managed to build a drone factory inside of Iran to use against Iran, right? We talked about that.
Yep.
And I'm still dumbfounded on how they did it. But it's basically the beeper model, right? They just decided this is what we're doing, and they get it done. They get it done. the other part is now, okay, what's been happening? Well, according to this, Iran executes fourth alleged Mossad agent and spy crackdown. Basically, they're killing all their own people who they think may have helped, because there's no way they get that stuff inside that country, put that stuff together in a factory setting and use it against their people without the mullahs or anybody on their side knowing about it, unless they were allowed to let it happen.
How many top officials did they pop in that first attack? Was it 25?
7? Oh, I don't know.
I thought it was 12.
It was like 7 or 8. Maybe it was more.
I thought it was 12. I didn't think it was as high as 25.
Oh, I thought
it
it was
could be
in
up
the
as
20s.
high as 25
All right,
now.
the chat will figure it out for us. They're great like that. But think about if you're let's just say it was 20 for argument's sake.
Yeah.
Imagine being like 21 to 40 on that list. You're going to be thinking, oh, when next?
Right, that's
Yeah.
what we said, right? If
Yeah.
you keep killing everybody that says no, eventually you're going to get to somebody who says yes.
Right.
When we thought maybe a deal was possible before this happened Saturday night.
And then what else do I have here? Breaking from Twitter from Dr. Eli David. General Ali Fadavi, deputy commander of IRGC, was just arrested for spying for Israel. Again, there's no way they get that stuff in there and do what they do to Iran unless they had help from the inside.
I mean, I think there's more to come on that front. I actually put something on our X at LFS6B. But I don't want to go out of order. So, actually, I guess that would, I don't know. Doesn't matter. We're on socials. So let me go to that. Did you hear Netanyahu? He says this, and that caught my attention because one of the big questions has been about the who moved what when, and if there was anything moved, especially when it comes to the nuclear material that was enriched. And this was Prime Minister Netanyahu, I think yesterday, or maybe it was even earlier today. He said, let's see if you have this, Aaron. Do you have audio here?
You asked about the enriched uranium. Well, look, we're following that. We've been following it very closely. I can tell you that it's an important component of a nuclear program. It's not the sole component. It's not a sufficient component, but it is an important component. And we have
Watch him.
Interesting intel on that, which you'll excuse me if I don't share with you.
So I don't know what that means, but I just said, this sounds like something interesting intel. Did Iran hand over their enriched uranium to Mossad undercover agents while they were in a hurry to try and hide it? That would be laugh out loud funny.
Would be.
Wow.
And you just wonder, I mean, I don't know, could be reading totally too much into what he said there, but the way he said that, we have interesting intel on that. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him.
Wow.
No, definitely not. And again, you know what? I think it shows, especially with the Iranians now executing their own people because they think they're Mossad spies, or you get this other general, one of their top generals who's still alive has now been arrested because of spying for Israel. I think there's a lot more going on here. And again, to what you just pointed out with what he said, the interesting intel is probably coming from the plants that they have inside Iran.
So obviously Saturday night happens. Let's step back through this. Obviously I went live for a while, and I want to thank everybody who joined us. And of course the fearmongers had us into World War III. As they didn't already, they had us in immediately all day Saturday night that this was it. I mean, some of them, I don't even know what they're going to do now going forward. I don't even know what some of them do moving forward. And again, it's not even about being right, wrong, indifferent, who was way off, kind of off. It doesn't even matter because what we all want, or at least I think we all want, although I don't know, I mean, some on the left and unfortunately some on the right too, I'm not really sure. But President Trump tonight puts out, well, first of all, we could just talk about the absolute precision of our guys. Oh, can I say our guys, or do I have to say?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Do I have
Who
to
got in trouble for
identify?
that?
Yeah, I can get in trouble for that. Right?
Yeah. What are their pronouns?
Shouldn't say our guys, but I will because screw it.
Warriors.
The precision, not only of the way this was, General Kane, Raising Kane, he's pretty badass. How this was put together, Pete Hegseth, everybody involved, and then, of course, the execution from our guys to pull this off. No leaks. Nobody knew until they were in and out, home, didn't take one shot. No one knew they were there. I mean, the execution of this will be something for the history books that we may have never and maybe never see again. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, I mean, just absolutely pristine President Trump's judgment here to make the call. Will go down in history. I mean, it is, if there's a better textbook example, and again, this is where we're at tonight. But if this sticks where we are tonight, and if you look at oil, the oil market is convinced
This is a good thing.
that this thing is over. This is the almost most perfect example of peace through strength that I can remember.
Yep. I was thinking the
In
same
execution. If what we see tonight holds.
Oh, because I'll be, you know me, man. I'm trying to think out the scenarios, and I'm trying to think what stocks I'm buying once this stuff hits the ground. I mean, I'm just trying to handicap the global economy. I want Trump's legacy to be the greatest president. I really do want him carved into Rushmore. I really want that to happen. I'm not kidding. I know that's like a cliche, but I really want that to happen. So, I mean, you guys said it more than I did. You guys said it, that it's going to be a strike. It's going to be in, out, and over. Like, you know, what was that movie, Stripes?
Yeah.
It's like going into Wisconsin.
It was wham, bam, thank you, Iran. That's what it was.
Yeah. It was bam, World War III. Oh, it's over.
It's over.
Yep.
But listen, as things change, and these things are obviously living, moving, breathing apparatus. We don't, and let's be honest, there's a million different propaganda outlets giving us a million different things. It's very difficult to handicap what's really happening right now, but it looks perfect at this point, and I couldn't be happier.
Here's what President Trump put out tonight. It's gone so well so far that people are actually looking at this and thinking, why are you even throwing these people any kind of lifeline? They're so degraded. That's how good it's gone. Mm-hmm. That people are now actually wondering why, even at this point, leave these scum in any kind of position of power over there. Just kill the bastard at this point. That's how good it's gone. Now people are even pushing past this and saying, why even throwing them a lifeline? Having said that, this is what the president put out. Congratulations to everyone. It has been fully agreed by and between Israel and Iran that there will be a complete and total ceasefire in approximately 6 hours from now, when Israel and Iran have wound down and completed their in-progress final missions for 12 hours, at which point the war will be considered ended. War between those two, I don't think what we did had anything, was not a war. We went on a mission. Officially, Iran will start the ceasefire, and upon the 12th hour, Israel will start the ceasefire, and upon the 24th hour, an official end to the 12-day war will be saluted by the world. During each ceasefire, the other side will remain peaceful and respectful. On the assumption that everything works as it should, which it will, I'd like to congratulate both countries, Israel and Iran, on having the stamina, courage, and intelligence to end what should be called the 12-day war. This is a war that could have gone on for years and destroyed the entire Middle East, but it didn't and never will. God bless Israel, God bless Iran, God bless the Middle East, and God bless the United States, and God bless the world. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America.
Nice. Well, you know what I'd like to see is like a follow-up to this? Maybe eradicate all the Muslim rape gangs in France, England, Ireland at this point.
We're going to join the network here. Oh. Just let me know, Aaron. They told us in our ears we were going to join Real America's Voice, so we're just waiting to hear that. So, all right, welcome on in, live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice. If you're just joining us, all the boys are here. Slick's here. It's going to do some sports. Rick Delgado's here. Going to do some news. Paul Nolan's got some news as well. Aaron is here. Fran is off. Corey's sitting in. Harry on the highways here as well. Glad you're in. All of you who are watching Charlie Kirk, welcome on in, live from Studio 6B on a Monday. And we were just obviously talking about everything that's gone on since Saturday. I mean, it feels like it's been a long time.
It feels like it's been
this happened like
week,
3
right?
months ago.
It really does.
It's been 48 hours.
Crazy.
It feels like it's been so long since this happened.
Long time.
But anyways, Paul, before we broke to come into the network, you were saying you will hope to follow up as what?
Yeah, I just want to see. Now I want to see, like, England and Ireland and Scotland and France. There was a musical festival in France this week, and there were Muslim rape gangs everywhere. And you know what the new thing now is? They were injecting young women with needles and having to detox them. I don't understand what happened in Europe where they let these people get away with absolute murder and rape and absolutely no justification. People think they'll say the worst things. Tommy Robinson is a hero. If you guys don't know who Tommy Robinson is, that guy has gone head to head, and they've mislabeled him every which way till Tuesday because he's standing up for the culture that he wants to keep in England. And I would really like to see some pushback now. What is that? 45 mayors in England now that are Muslim. That now they're getting their prayer songs throughout the day. Mm-hmm. Now that wackadoodle in New York City, I can't believe how badly I'm going to be rooting for Cuomo. Really?
I saw that.
What the hell was going on?
You have no choice. You have no choice.
That is bonkers.
No choice.
Bonkers.
Think about
that guy's got a 61% chance to win.
Oh,
he wants to get rid of the police and everything.
I thought Cuomo was up 55-45.
Cuomo was up.
Oh.
But either way,
Cuomo's going to win.
For that guy, you got to be
he
kidding
shouldn't
me.
even be close.
He'll win.
So, I don't know. I'm just
I want to get to a couple things.
Culture.
Yeah.
Man.
I want to get to a couple things that I bookmarked as I was looking at reaction. By the way, Tucker Carlson has just tweeted, "Thank God." 2 words. Thank God. Oh, Tucker, what to do now? What do you do now? What do you do now?
That's the thing. I don't get that. I got to disagree with you. If new information comes in, just change your mind. If I'm handicapped and I'm betting big money on a team and their star center goes out, I'm hedging my wallet. Right. Just rebet.
Like Halliburton last night. You could hedge your bet right there when he went out.
Listen, when new information comes in, that's the difference between real people with real brains. They just change their mind as more info comes in. The people who stay with the... You were the Fauci lover when it first started. He was like, no, how can you talk bad about Fauci? It took me 3 weeks to convince you.
No, I mean, it's fine. I agree with you, Paul. I just get a chuckle out of it that these people who have had so much to say on how the world's coming to an end now all of a sudden just use little words. Just 2 words.
Well,
thank God. The 2 words.
Oh, look, good for him. Good for him. He could have. He could have been like, He could have said like, I want another booster.
World ends at 10. Film at 11. It's always the way.
I love it.
Right? So, couple things here. Peace through strength. Israel took out most of the Islamic Republic's ballistic missile capability, much of their terrorist army's leadership, and their nuclear know-how. The U.S. took out their nuclear facilities. Together, both countries completely defanged and neutralized the biggest destabilizing force in the Middle East for decades. Then, when completely weakened, they forced the regime to choose between peace and their survival. This is textbook example of peace through strength. The world owes a debt of gratitude to both the Israelis and to President Trump and his administration. Those who doubted and opposed them in this effort look extremely foolish. Those who mocked the idea of peace via action look extremely foolish. Those who insisted that appeasement was the only path to peace look extremely foolish. The world is a much safer place than it was 2 weeks ago. I still hope the Iranian people find a path to freedom, but thankful for the current outcome. David Friedman tonight says, no one in history has ever engineered such an overwhelming military victory, followed up almost immediately with a cessation of hostilities. Words are insufficient to thank President of the United States for his courage, his intellect, his instincts, all of which proven flawless. The world is a far safer place today because of him. Scott Jennings from CNN tonight. Well, as it turns out, I was right and complete moron Daily Beast reporter was wrong. Trump's actions did lead to a de-escalation, capitulation by Iran, and a near immediate ceasefire. We'll see if these pro-Iranian idiots have the guts to admit it. Don't hold your breath. Will Chamberlain tonight. Most effective use of American military and diplomatic power this century. Achieved a major decades-long foreign policy goal, the elimination of Iran's nuclear program, without a single American casualty. And then this girl, Batia Ungar Sargon, she's a former Democrat. I hope I didn't just butcher her name.
No, you did, but go ahead.
She says a lot of people on both sides of the aisle are going to be majorly bummed that President Trump secured an Israeli-Iran ceasefire. But whatever side you're on, whatever you think of Trump, honest brokers should be able to admit it. The president deserves the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah, he does.
Ticked off Patriot is on fire tonight.
Tonight. Every night.
Oh, that's back. He's got 2 home runs he hit out of the ballpark so far.
Well, we don't need to go back and revisit history, but I am reminded of when I saw oil today. It was kind of the thing I caught on to most, that oil was down 4%, then it was down 6%, then it was down 7%, and it's down 12% since last Sunday. 12% from last Sunday. People had it at $300 a barrel going there over the weekend. All right, we're just getting started. Glad you're in. Real America's Voice. Welcome in. We'll continue sports news all coming up on a Monday live from Studio 6B right after this.
I don't know. Something doesn't sound right.
Open source intelligent monitor on X says, I'm starting to think that maybe Khamenei is dead, or there's been some kind of coup within the Iranian armed forces, because that is the only way these statements that are being made by Trump, Vance, and other officials within the last hour make any sense. That's an interesting.
We got 312 likes already. Well, those Rav people came over. Thank you very much. Got to squash 400 tonight. Ticked off says liberal judge demands we rebuild.
Yeah. I saw that.
And then he said Trump should just go build a golf course in the middle of Iran. Something like, I wish I could remember exactly what he said, but it was funny. And he just had another good one. I might have to send Ticked Off a super chat.
Yeah,
what's going on? Chat. What's up, Clint Legit? What's going on?
Deserves a reverse.
Bum.
Man, if someone gets any word on that guy, we gotta.
I saw that. I was almost going to retweet it, and I didn't. It's so funny. So true.
I just love watching AOC screaming about impeachment.
Oh, yeah.
It's so cute.
Oh, these Sunday shows were unbelievable this weekend.
Did you see the L.A. in Los Angeles? They have all the banners out. We stand with Iran. Did you see that?
What?
Yeah, they're out in the street. They were protesters. I saw it on Fox earlier today.
Did you see the Mets after they put up their pride flag, lost 8 in a row?
Yeah, it's
wow.
hilarious.
They were cursed by.
You know what they say, pride comes before the fall.
That's great.
Becky Snyder, thank you for joining me Saturday. No problem.
Becky, we got Broke. We
Dave
got
Syverson,
STT
what's up,
Patty.
pal?
Yeah. I was dying
Lonnie
to jump
and
on
Moon
there.
Pie.
What's up?
I was at a friend's house. Oh, they're so liberal.
Gabby Pierce, thank you.
And Les
Loving my shirt.
Bowden.
I like this shirt too.
What's up, Les? Yeah, I just got scolded for wearing a T-shirt.
Nancy Burns on X.
Someone
Hello.
said, don't wear a T-shirt. You look like a lawnmower guy. Well, I'm sorry. I work for a living. I'm not independently wealthy like you, tough guy.
Jinx, hello on X.
Wow.
You're right there, Paul.
Hostility.
Hey, tough guy.
Hey, tough
Over there,
guy.
tough
Hey,
guy.
tough guy.
Hey.
I wear T-shirts. Tough guy.
The Panicans don't know what to do now, yes. That's for sure. They've all changed they've softened
Man, it
their
was so
language.
hot today.
All right, 30 minutes minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on Monday night after, man, I mean, it's only been 3 days. We did the Warehouse Friday Night Live, left there wondering what the weekend was going to bring, and now, of course, we're back here Monday, and it seems like it's been a month.
I know. It's crazy.
In stuff that's happened, obviously, just absolutely crazy from
really,
Saturday, this mission.
You really can't take any time off.
You can't.
I streamed 3 hours on Saturday night, had I don't know what the total numbers were, but at one point there was 7,000 people with me. So people were obviously engaged, and I want to thank everybody who joined. And now Trump today, obviously there's a lot has happened. But just the overall praise and the execution of this mission, President Trump's guts to call it. You know, and this is really, again, exactly the one thing we could never, at least I couldn't, I'll speak for myself, I don't put word in anybody else's mouth, that I just could not understand, and I think I said on the show, is when it comes to like wonky policy stuff, everybody's like, if you don't, whatever Trump says goes, grab the pom-poms and get in line, Damon, or obviously you must not be a supporter of him, which is not his specialty. And endorsements, not his specialty, as we know, some of them have been not great. This is absolutely his wheelhouse, his instincts, his backbone, his decision-making, his business acumen, his unpredictability,
decoys,
his ability to hammer down.
Did you hear the reports that
and not put up with any BS?
Originally, the plan that they wanted Biden to execute 2 years ago, almost an identical plan to bust those bunkers, but they couldn't trust Biden to play coy. That's what some of the reports are coming out, that they just couldn't trust Biden's inability to follow a script.
Right.
I mean, speaking of playing coy, can we just take, I mean, I don't want to watch the whole thing, but can we just take a second and listen to...
or Tampon Tim.
No. I want to listen
Tim
to...
was ridiculous today.
I want to listen to General Raisin Kane a little bit from the other day. Put this up, Aaron.
This guy's a beast.
In our nation's work, and nice to see everybody on this early Sunday morning. Last night, on the President's orders, U.S. Central Command, under the command of General Eric Kurilla, executed Operation Midnight Hammer, a deliberate and precise strike against 3 Iranian nuclear facilities. This was a complex and high-risk mission carried out with exceptional skill and discipline by our joint force. I want to thank every service member, planner, operator that made this mission possible. Their actions reflect the highest standards of the United States Armed Forces. This operation was designed to severely degrade Iran's nuclear weapons infrastructure. It was planned and executed across multiple domains and theaters with coordination that reflects our ability to project power globally with speed and precision at the time and place of our nation's choosing. This was a highly classified mission with
By the way, as I'm listening to this guy, all I'm thinking about is Trump telling the story about this guy when he first met him, and I'm thinking, this is why, exactly.
You know what?
Listen to this guy.
This is the guy.
Pause it here.
This is the guy.
One of the best parts about this was no despicable, disgusting, traitorous media leaks. Mm-hmm. Like, we didn't see any of the subversive, let's try to ruin Trump and his plan. That to me is there's something to be said for that.
But of course, Schumer was upset they didn't run it by Congress, right? Yeah. Can you imagine the leaks there?
Well, we'll get to that in a second.
People in Washington knowing the timing or nature of this plan. I'll refer you to the graphic on the side as I walk you through some of the operational details. At midnight Friday into Saturday morning, a large B-2 strike package comprised of bombers launched from the continental United States. As part of the plan to maintain tactical surprise, part of the package proceeded to the west and into the Pacific as a decoy, a deception effort known only to an extremely small number of planners and key leaders here in Washington. And
I mean, that's
how about the fact they talked about the moon phase?
That is awesome.
How about the moon phase being perfect, too? Did you read about that?
No.
Yeah,
but I mean,
the darkness of the moon phase with the weather ended up being the perfect conditions for all of it.
But I mean, just the deception part, which kind of, as soon as he said that, because I watched that yesterday as well, Damon, as soon as he said that, the first thing I thought of was Gulf War I, with the deception that they use by lining up, a large force along the border where they didn't tell anybody, but they were hitting the Iraqis from the water. So they kind of lured them to think this is where it's going to come from, and they swoop in from behind, led by Stormin Norman Schwarzkopf. That's what that kind of reminded me of.
Yeah, I just thought, man, that guy, you can see why Trump liked him right away. I was thinking of that story where he's like, we got to defeat Al-Qaeda, or what is it, ISIS? And everybody told me I'd take, 2 years, 3 years. He said, I'll do it in like 4 weeks.
3 months, yeah.
Whatever it was. And he said, this is my guy. You can see why. You can absolutely see why. So just really amazing. But man, it has felt like it's been like a month since Saturday to tonight. And of course the president tonight announces a ceasefire, supposedly between Iran and Israel. It's happening right now, obviously over the next 6 hours, as he said, and then the next 12 hours after that. Netanyahu tonight is out about an hour ago to the media, quote, "We have a ceasefire," end quote. So that from the Prime Minister of Israel. And yeah, I don't know. Not enough can be said about President Trump in these last 72 hours.
Not only that, but about the people he entrusted to pull this thing off. They talk about the limited number of people who knew about the operation, parts of the operation. It kind of lends you to believe that, you know what, you're only read into the parts that you need to know about. It's like, we need you to fly here for this and get to this point by this time. That's all you need to know. You don't need to know this plane's going that way. You don't need to know why these guys are doing this. This is what you need to know. I think that's part of how they kept it so secret, that each person or each group only got a specific number of details, which is probably how they were able to, keep that secrecy. That's so important for something like this, because they flew in and nothing. They got nothing. They got no pushback whatsoever. Zero. In, out, back at home in time for Frosted Flakes in the morning.
And the media, of course, is so absolutely miserable. Aaron Burnett specifically. Aaron Burnett spent the opening 7 minutes of her show tonight trying to convince the world that there was no ceasefire. And then she had her first guest on, and here's how that went.
Against it. And certainly right now, Aaron, the Iran saying that their retaliation is going to continue, and that their retaliation, if anything, is going to become more intense. Of course, one of the things that we heard is that the Iranians believe that they are in a conflict both with Israel and the United States, feeling that Israel has dragged the United States into a conflict directly with Iran, Aaron.
All right, Fred Pleitgen, thank you so much. Of course, the literal eyes and ears on the ground to hear those explosions. I want to go now to Barack Ravid, our political and global affairs analyst. Also joining us, of course, retired General Mark Kimmett.
That was the end of her 7 minutes trying to tell the world that there is no ceasefire. So then she has Barack Ravid on.
Secretary of State, he oversaw policy here in the Middle East. And here with me in the UAE, along the Strait of Hormuz, Paula Huancox, our correspondent, who knows this region better than anyone. Barack, I just want to start with you, though. I know you have some new reporting. What are you learning right now?
Hi, Aaron. What I'm learning is that this ceasefire has been mediated and, according to President Trump, also achieved through mediation of Qatar and the United States, two countries that have been in touch, close touch, before the U.S. entered this war. A day before this war started, there were meetings between U.S. and Qatari officials about the possibility of the U.S. joining this war. And those contacts continued all along the last 3 days and today, when after the Iranian attack on the El Udeid base, Iranian officials sent a message to the White House through the Qataris saying, we're done. This is our response. We're not going to do anything further. The White House sent a message back through the Qataris. We are not, if you're done, we are not going to retaliate, and we want to talk. We want to now get a deal. In the hours since then, there were talks between the U.S. and Israel and Qatar and Iran to tie the final knots and agree on the final conditions of this ceasefire.
Oh, well, there you go, Aaron. And of course, this is what they tried to do all weekend long, Sunday morning shows as well, running to every person they could who would try to bang the verbal table to tell them that there was still something we were all missing here.
Right.
All weekend I saw it. Thomas Massey, all of them, every Democrat. The president's violated the Constitution, Nonsense. Absolute, total nonsense.
Meanwhile,
the War Powers Act.
Yeah.
Leave it to Congress. Leave it to Congress? I mean, they can't even get the tax cuts through. They can't even get the parking ticket paid. We're going to leave it to Congress?
3 days to vote.
I mean, what a joke.
And did you see the truth that Trump put out after the Iran response, where they lobbed their missiles?
Yep.
Iran has officially responded to our obliteration of their nuclear facilities with a very weak response, which we expected, and we have effectively countered. There have been 14 missiles fired, 13 were knocked down, and one was set free because it was headed into the non-threatening direction. I am pleased to report that no Americans were harmed and hardly any damage was done, and most importantly, they've gotten it all out of their system, and they will hopefully now be no more further hate. I want to thank Iran for giving us early notice, which made it possible for no lives to be lost and nobody to be injured. Again, basically letting them, quote unquote, save face. Perhaps Iran can now proceed to peace and harmony in the region, and I will enthusiastically encourage Israel to do the same. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
What did we say on Friday at the warehouse? Or I think I said on Friday at the warehouse. Everybody calling for all of these things. And I said, remember when Trump took out Soleimani? And by the way, all of the fear-mongering World War III people were, of course, fine with that. No problem. But when they did, what did Iran do in response? They called and said, hey, we're going to have to
mail some in.
We're going to have to mail some in here.
Exactly.
Yeah. But don't you worry. We're going to, just a tad wide right. We're going to miss everything, but just so you know, because we got to save face. So it's Soleimani 2.0 is what we're getting here. And they said, what did they say? We sent a missile for every bomb that was dropped. I mean, really? I mean, it's just pathetic. But yet the Sunday shows, they had every person who they could find who wanted to somehow be against Trump or be this or on every one of these shows. And unfortunately, too many Republicans, too. Way too many for my liking out there. And now, of course, where do they go with their rhetoric now? Well, I see some of them already starting to flip. Like literally flip. Like one of them, who's been one of the more outspoken, just said, hey, guys, this is what we called for, a ceasefire. I mean, the verbal gymnastics is amazing. Amazing. All right, we'll do some sports and other news when we get back live from Studio 6B, and we'll continue to track the rest of the night. What's going on? It'll be America's war. Don't let the propagandists lie to you. He also said oil would be at $300 a barrel.
Oh.
The weekend of the bombing.
Chat.
He better think about doing sports now. Maybe it's a career for him.
Shadow of Ezra. Lindsey Graham on the House floor calling for regime change in Iran.
Lindsey Graham.
Oh, God.
Give me a break.
Hiding under his couch all weekend.
It still amazes me that Trump has never... that guy remains untouched, and I don't understand it.
Charlie Kirk did a poll about regime change, and it was, are you in favor or not? 69 were not in favor of regime change. Big question is, will there be an IMF bank in there next? Will they replace the competing currency with an IMF back. It's one of the last places that's not IMF BIS related. So to me, I believe so much of this is also about currency war. It's never discussed, but it's always the underlying roots of this stuff.
What's the currency in Iran?
There is none. There is none.
What's it called now?
I don't think they have a currency.
Of course they do.
Do they?
Yeah.
I thought they didn't have one.
Really? I got to look it up now.
Oh, Vance was on
the-
the
I got you,
prep
go.
tonight?
That's what-
Iranian rial.
Ryle?
Oh, they got riled up.
Now,
He asked him, how do you get from firing missiles at a U.S. base to a ceasefire?
Right.
Vance said, Iran actually gave us some warnings here, and we think they gave us some warnings because they didn't want to kill any Americans, and they didn't want us to escalate. As the president told them earlier, our missiles, our bombs are a little bigger than yours.
I heard one
I got
of
to
them.
see that before I got here. It was really great interview.
There was
Get a chance to
7
see it.
fired, and I think one of them, they said they didn't even bother with it. It was going off to like an area where it didn't even matter.
yeah, that's what I just.
Oh, yeah, I missed that. Yep. I think I listened to you when you talk.
No, of course not. All right, so the it's a .0000. That's 4 zeros.
Like I said,
24
they have no currency.
of rye versus American dollar.
Wow.
Yeah, there's no value.
It says no value. But if you buy it up, then they're going to have to buy it off. That's what they do.
Tracy Moore.
Tracy Morgan's funny.
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday, brand new week. Glad you're in. Let's do some sports. We'll get away from We'll get back to more talk. I see J.D. Vance did an interview tonight with Brett Baer. We'll get to some of what he said as well. But let's do some sports. We'll change it up a little bit. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to you. Slickster, what's going on?
Well, 2 championships in the books over the weekend, Big D. Game 7, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scores 29 points, and Thunder beat Pacers 103-91 for the NBA title. Breitbart News reporting out of Oklahoma City, AP. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander walked off the court for the final time this season, collapsed into the arms of Coach Mark Deneau, and finally smiled. It was over. The climb is complete. The rebuild is done. The Oklahoma City Thunder are champions. The best team all season was the best team at the end, bringing the NBA title to Oklahoma City for the first time. Gilgeous-Alexander finished off his MVP season with 29 points and 12 assists, and the Thunder beat the Indiana Pacers, who lost Tyrese Halliburton to a serious leg injury in the opening minute. Turns out it was a torn Achilles, so he'll be out for probably about a year. 103-90.
Another one.
Yep, shame, right?
And he tried to play through that, right?
He was very hobbled. I saw a couple sports reporters who nailed it with videos saying even 2 games before that he shouldn't even play because they said, this will lead to an Achilles if he's not careful.
Yeah, it was
And it did.
unfortunately. Yeah,
You got to admire the kid for trying to battle through it. You got to tip your cap to someone who's going to battle through a legitimate injury.
Yep, and it was a good game at the half. The Pacers led 48-47 at the half, even after losing Halliburton to what his father said was an Achilles tendon injury about 7 minutes into the game. But they were outscored 34-20 in the third quarter as the Thunder built a 13-point lead and began to run away. Benedict Mathurin had 24 points and 13 rebounds for Indiana, which is still waiting for its first NBA title. The Pacers were 10-15 after 25 games and were bidding to be the first team in NBA history to return the bed of his start into a championship, and had leads of 1-0 and 2-1 in the series, but they simply didn't have enough in the end. I mean, they had more turnovers than an Entenmann's outlet after Thanksgiving. That third quarter, they couldn't hold on to the ball. It was like 22 turnovers to like 4, and the points, it just became too much. Plus the home crowd, it was unbelievable. So what are you going to do? It is what it is. And also then in baseball, we had the College World Series wrapped up as well. LSU Tigers, congratulations. They swept the Coastal Carolina to win the NCAA Men's College World Series. Coastal Carolina coach ejected in first inning as Tigers secured championship second championship in 3 years. Scott Thompson of Fox News, the LSU Tigers are NCAA baseball champions once more as they defeated Coastal Carolina 5-3 on Sunday to sweep the best-of-3 Men's College World Series final. It was a game filled with dramatics, most notably the Chanticleer's coach, Kevin Schnall, getting ejected in the first inning. LSU had a runner on second base when Schnall got very upset with a call and started barking at home plate umpire Angel Campos. "You missed 3 pitches," Schnall screamed. After tossing Schnall, 2 umpires had to get between him and Campos, one of which fell to the ground during the verbal altercation. Campos also tossed first base coach Matt Schilling as the first inning truly had all the drama. While the Tigers didn't end up scoring in the first, they did respond once Coastal Carolina got on the board in the bottom of the second inning, thanks to Dean Mehu's solo home run. And, well, the rest is over. The LSU exploded for 4 runs in the top of the 4th inning, which ultimately was enough to take down the Chanticleers. That's the one from
I was just thinking of Crash Davis must have called him a no-no.
Yeah,
it was his movie, Bull Durham.
Yeah, well, he must have said something he shouldn't have. Exactly, Paul. And anyway, so that's a wrap in Sports BD. 2 championships in the books. Of course, pales in comparison to what else we have to talk about tonight, but there's a little sports for you.
All right, Slick, very good. Sports is brought to you by our friend Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use if you want to shop at MyPillow. If you do shop at MyPillow, it'll give you a great savings at checkout. Let's do the news. News is brought to you by our friends at EternalLifeCoin.com. EternalLifeCoin, all one word.com. Check it out. It's a beautiful piece. Rick Delgado's got it. What's going on, Delgado?
All right. Well, the greatest news stories in the world, Damon, are coming to you right now. We've covered the biggest one in the world, of course, the shenanigans over the weekend, where, of course, Iran got taken care of. But one of our favorites, Schmucky Chucky Schumer, the New York Democrat, of course, was slamming President Trump over the Iran strike. And here's what he had to say. Reactions, of course, from the president's strike on Iranian nuclear facilities Saturday ranged from cautious support to deep concern. But it was Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, long a hawk on Iran and highest-ranking Jewish official in the U.S., who drew the most attention. He blasted Trump for sidestepping Congress, forgetting how many times Obama sidestepped Congress, yet stopped short of saying whether he supported the strike itself. He said no president should be allowed to unilaterally march into this nation. Such a consequential war with erratic threats and no strategy, Schumer said. He added that.
What a fool. What an absolute stupid fool he is.
Well, he's Chuck Schumer. He added that
moron.
With the risk of a more devastating war now significantly heightened, the Senate must vote on a resolution under the War Powers Act. Blah,
of course.
Blah, blah.
Yeah, of course, the War Powers Act.
Meanwhile, cut number 6, here is Chuck Schumer reacting when he thinks President Trump is going to back off of doing something against Iran. Here's cut number 6. This is just from the other day. Check this out.
When it comes to negotiating with the terrorist government of Iran, Trump's all over the lot. One day he sounds tough, the next day he's backing off. And now, all of a sudden, we find out that Witkoff and Rubio are negotiating.
Shut up, you fool.
Simon Boston is
He's all over the map. Let me put another cheeseburger on the grill and act like I'm cutting it. Shut up, moron.
Of course, the Democrats were out in full force complaining they didn't have any notification, of which, well, it turns out they did kind of have notification. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt claimed that Chuck Schumer was contacted before the strikes and that Jeffries from the House was also contacted, but his phone went unanswered. Chuck Schumer was reminded of this and had to retract a statement. Here's cut number 7, Caroline Leavitt on the Democrats and Chuck Schumer. Cut 7.
We did make bipartisan calls. Thomas Massie and the Democrats, he should be a Democrat because he's more aligned with them than with the Republican Party. We're given notice. The White House made calls to congressional leadership. They were bipartisan calls. In fact, Hakeem Jeffries couldn't be reached. We tried him before the strike, and he didn't pick up the phone, but he was briefed after, as well as Chuck Schumer was briefed prior to the strike. So this notion that CNN ran with at the White House did not give a heads up to Democrats is just completely false. In fact, both Senator Schumer's office and CNN had to retract that story last night because it was a blatant lie. And we showed them the timestamps from those phone calls. But I want to add something to Thomas Massey's false points. The White House was not obligated to call anyone because the president was acting within his legal authority under Article 2 of the Constitution as Commander-in-Chief of the President of the United States. We gave these calls as a courtesy, and the Democrats are lying about this because they can't talk about the truth of the success of that operation and the success of our United States military and the success of this president and this administration in doing something that past administrations, Democrats too, have only dreamed about.
Yeah. So there you have it, Caroline Levitt, laying waste to Chuck Schumer and the Democrats
She's
for
fantastic.
And Massey, by the way. And I love Massey. Everybody knows that. And he's just wrong in this. He's just wrong. He's just wrong. That's fine. You can be wrong on one thing. He's great on everything else. And no, you will not run a primary challenge against him and win. You can run it, but you're not going to win.
No way.
And nor should you, by the way, because 99, his Liberty score, I think, is about 99. So, again, he continued to get hammered from President Trump, and Lindsey Graham remains untouched. But on this, he's just wrong.
Yeah, completely wrong. And it's too bad. But, there you have it. Let's see here. Every president, of course, you might remember, for decades has kept the military option on the table in terms of Iran. However, both Republican isolationists and progressive Democrats have opposed that military action, wary of dragging the U.S. into another Middle East war. President Trump promises not to do so, and I think we're seeing the results of that starting to play out now as time starts to move on from this weekend's strike.
All right, hour two coming up. Paul Nolan will have some news. We start top of the hour. Slick will have more sports. Delgado will have more of the greatest headlines in the world. All coming up live from Studio 6B, hour two. We get back right after this.
Chat, live in the chat.
Chat. What's going on in the chat? Massey's wrong about everything? Oh, you can think that. He's not wrong on everything to me.
Yeah,
He's wrong on this, but
listen, that's the difference between like some Republicans and libertarians. Like people, the constitutional libertarians. I try not to be a hypocrite on anything, so it's just hard to. It's just so crazy.
You think he's wrong on the big beautiful bill? I don't know what to tell you. I'm 100% in lockstep with him there. On this, I'm not.
I don't think we want to. No. We got to keep broads off this. We don't need no this is like. She's got.
I don't have her number. I mean,
Could have gone Saturday, but it's cool. What's up, Harry?
Fireplace Drive. Fireplace Drive?
I guess that means I got a read coming up, huh?
Fireplace Drive. Yeah, but that's just okay. All it is just one word. Just tell me yes, no.
I texted.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't feel like going back. I just found this.
What am I doing? Okay, here we go.
Hey, Paul.
Oh, it's top of the hour. Right, I got you. Oh, we have Phil Patrick.
I think
tonight
it's
too,
fun.
right? Okay.
Dive. I'm right
Okay.
there.
And then I adjust the TWC. Okay. All right, Paul, you got your got news here?
Yeah, I got the second greatest news ever. That's a- We all get to use the couch.
All right, 9 o'clock, hour 2 on the East Coast. Real America's Voice on a Monday. Glad you're in. Slick sitting right there. He's going to do some sports. Slick, sir, how are you?
I'm doing good, Big D.
Rick Delgado's going to have the news. Mr. Delgado, the greatest headlines in the world. Coming up, the second greatest headline, the second tier greatest headlines in the world will be coming up with Mr. Nolan here in a second. Is that what we're calling him?
Yeah, definitely second greatest.
Okay. Aaron holding it down. Fran's off. Corey holding it down tonight. Corey and Harry on the highway is
Putzing around.
He's holding it.
That's a good word. Aaron. I like that. Looming
Get off
around.
the couch.
Harry will be spinning the tunes tomorrow night,
Oh,
so you
nice.
can expect everything to start early and end late. So 9 o'clock on the East Coast. Glad you're in. Lots to talk about, obviously. Tamir Morag, and it's probably not how you pronounce it, but that's how I'm going to pronounce it, on Twitter tonight, says there is a ceasefire. Trump was supposed to make an announcement later, but surprised everyone with the early statement. Number 3, Israel received third-party guarantees. This is a big one. Israel received third-party guarantees that Iran will not resume developing nuclear weapons.
Wow.
So he is the Channel 14 in Israel's diplomat correspondent. Tweets are in Hebrew. English in the first comment. So he tweets them both ways. I was obviously reading the English, so that's his latest tweet tonight from Israel. So yeah, again, we all hope and pray that what we're seeing tonight is actually what holds, and and everybody follows through. And I think it's pretty clear to the Iranians that President Trump is. You don't want to FAO anymore. I think with our president. So. All right, let's do some news with Paul Nolan. We'll see what's on his headlines on a Monday night. Mr. Nolan, how are you? What else has caught your attention?
Well, I just love these hypocrites from the left who salivated when Obama hit more non-combatants, women and children, than anybody ever. And here we have Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez called President Donald Trump to be impeached over the launching strikes on Iran. On a post on X, Cortez claimed that Trump's decision to bomb Iran without authorization was a grave violation of the U.S. Constitution. She said the president's disastrous decision to bomb Iran without authorization was a grave violation of the constitutional and congressional powers. He has impulsively risked launching a war that may ensnare us for generations. It's absolutely and clearly grounds for impeachment. So I just thought that was pretty interesting. She now out of nowhere, she's an anti-war.
She's a moronic flamethrower who the shows love to go to her because of that reason.
Yeah, and then in the hypocrite lunacy, I just wanted to let you know, Rosie, I ate everything O'Donnell took to social media Monday to promote a recount of President Trump's landslide victory over Harris in 2024. The woman, she had a post on Instagram story from social media influencer Joe Braxton, whoever that nobody is, and claimed that Tesla CEO Elon Musk hacked and stole the 2024 presidential election and demands a recount.
Sure.
And she wants free pizza throughout the whole process.
Okay.
So, and then lastly, in the jackass wacko category of the weekend, Hollywood celebrities spend the weekend impeaching that mother, you-know-whatter. And it looks apparently that there was a whole litany of these lefty wackos, including Ariana Grande, saying that Trump should be impeached. So we know that that brain surgeon is definitely.
Thank God I didn't know this Saturday night. I don't know how I would have slept.
Just really think about it. This poor kid looks like she's been MK Ultra'd to death. She looks like she hasn't had a sandwich in 2 months, and honestly, it looks like Rosie wants to put her on a bun with some ketchup.
But that girl can sing, though.
That I can see.
You know what? When my kids were little, they asked me to take it. They were like 14 and 15. And I won't lie, it was pretty good.
Oh, she can sing, man.
Oh, she got a good job.
She can sing the phone book, that girl.
Yeah, she's good.
Right.
She's just
nice
a
voice.
moron.
But I just wanted to laugh at all these jackasses who, they just think it's just so.
They should just do what they do. Like, just do what they do.
Yeah.
And stay out of it. Just
you want to
shut
hear,
up.
all right, so here's a list of some of the jackholes. Mia Farrow, unprovoked, without imminent threat, Trump attacked the country without consulting Congress.
Yeah, define imminent threat to her. The imminent threat is like the nuke is in the air. Oh, maybe now it's an imminent threat, moron. Who else?
Ethan Embry. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
Who?
Ethan Embry. I don't know. Ethan Embryo. I don't know. 78 million effing idiots in America brought us here. Mark Hamill, another rocket scientist.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy was even terrible in the easiest role to ever play. I mean, don't tell me he didn't wreck Star Trek or Wars, whatever
it was Star Wars.
Yeah, whatever. Same thing.
Same track.
Same shit.
I hate when I go to bed early on a Saturday night and I wake up on a Sunday morning only to discover we've gone to war with the entire Middle East.
God, we've
Congress.
gone to war. Shut up.
John Cryer. Yeah.
He got that right.
Perfectly named. Exactly.
Considering how often he lies, we may have well bombed France. Well, that's not a bad idea when you think about what went on there this weekend. George Takei, another genius.
Oh, God, yeah.
Do you want to hear what this wacko said?
Not really.
Yeah, he said, I really like boys and I like them young.
No,
he didn't say that. No,
he didn't.
Then Lizzo, she chimed in. She said, just
Where's
a
my
reminder, we're
fries?
not bombing for peace. We're bombing for pizza. I really want to eat everything on earth, and I hate
you're
Trump.
making that up.
I made that up.
That might be fake news.
So I don't know. And then Bradley Whitford, never heard of him. Stephen King, who hasn't done anything relevant in forever. And I don't know if he's
another stupid book.
Right, Stephen King's doing his impersonation of Neil Young every day, and vice versa. Those two guys have morphed into one idiot. So that's it for the second greatest news out.
Okay, very good. Chris Murphy tonight, who I went to high school with. If Trump didn't destroy Fordo and he didn't eliminate their enriched uranium and he scuttled the diplomatic agreement and he pushed Russia and Iran closer to each other, yeah, I don't think any of that's true, by the way, but and he put all of our troops in the region at risk. That's definitely not true. Then what was the point exactly? Imagine saying that tonight. What was the point exactly? I mean, it's just mind-numbingly stupid, these people. Like this argument against doing nothing. Like when Obama was in and when he had chances to take out things and then bombing and did any of them rationalize it like this?
Nope. And they were forever wars too. They were nonstop. They were overspent and they left weapons behind every time to keep them empowered.
What was the point, he says? We have to explain it to you, dummy? You didn't learn it at Wethersfield High School? Civics class? Guess not. God, the guy's an idiot. Just unbelievable, these comments. But this is what the Sunday shows look for. This is him on Aaron Burnett tonight. Again, this is all I saw.
And
they're all loving the Constitution. All the Democrats wrapping themselves in the Constitution all weekend long. 99.9% of the time, they're trying to burn it to the ground.
It's so great.
But the 0.10001% of the time, which they found in this, the president violated the Constitution. Oh, we can't have the Constitution. Oh, the Constitution, the Constitution, the Constitution. All of them. Makes you want to puke.
So great.
Meanwhile, you didn't hear anything. Obama bombed Libya, 2011? Pakistan, he did a couple times, 2009 and 2016. Yemen, 2009, 2016. Somalia, 2009, 2016.
And by the way, who's State
Right, what
Department?
did you hear then?
Hillary?
I'd like to congratulate the president on his leadership and his...
Yeah.
Iraq and Syria, 2014 and 2016. I mean, it's rich coming from these people. The same people that can't identify a woman are trying to identify, a terrorist or a terrorist regime.
He left $10 billion worth of goodies for the Taliban. I mean, really?
Well, he built the Taliban.
Yeah. He replaced the Taliban with the Taliban.
Right.
Iranian media tonight, Trump's ceasefire claim is completely false. No official or unofficial proposal was received. Well, that's how you know it was probably true.
Yeah.
Just like earlier today, I think I tweeted out that there was breaking. It said Iran's Supreme National Security Council says it has destroyed the U.S. airbase in Qatar. And I retweeted that, and I said, the LFSXB Supreme National Security Council says that I'm now the Pope, and I'll be also ruling over Greenland starting tonight, because both of them have about as much truth. That's about what you can take from anytime the Iranian anything says something, it's usually the opposite of that. That's the truth. Like when they all came out on Saturday night and said, no damage done. We've done a full assessment. Oh, really? You've done a full assessment in the first 4 minutes. You walked through the fire, through the rubble to get that assessment done?
Everything looks good.
No, everything's fine here. You tell those Americans.
Boss, do you not see the giant hole over there?
It's crazy.
You know what? That was just President Trump peacefully protesting their nuclear sites. That's all it was. Nothing to see here. Move along.
There was no damage.
Let's watch another great one from CNN tonight. I don't know whose show this is. Maybe Caitlin Collins, or once again trying to tell us that about the ceasefire, whether there is one or not. Let's see how this one went.
Now, we're hearing incredibly optimistic views coming out of the White House as far as how long this can hold and what this is going to look like. That obviously still remains to be seen on the implementation side of this, and waiting to see if the firing does stop and if Iran and Israel do both agree to this. Because, speaking of the fluidity of the situation, it was just 24 hours ago that President Trump himself was suggesting a regime change in Iran was a possibility. And obviously right before that, having the United States strike Iran. And so, yes, there have been a lot of phone calls going back and forth. In part, this has to do with Iran's limited response earlier, where they fired on a U.S. base in Qatar, but there were no casualties. We know that they did give a heads up that they were going to be firing on U.S. bases without exactly specifying which ones. But that is the question here, is if the United States felt that it did not need to respond to the Iranian retaliation, did that create the space for this? That is what we've been hearing from administration officials. And so the question is whether or not this still holds for the next few hours.
Hold on, Caitlin.
Caitlin, I just been given word that Iran, according to a diplomat who briefed CNN, Iran has agreed to the ceasefire. So this is significant. I just want to try to learn some more information as soon as we get it about that. But if that is the case, that's incredibly significant, because that is, we were waiting. We had not heard from Iran. We had not heard from Israel. All we were going on so far has been the president's social media post, which was some 2 hours ago. So again, that is the first indication we have that Iran has agreed to this.
I hate this job.
Now we're hearing.
She wants to echo some of your sentiments at him right now.
If there was like a translation button underneath, it'd be like, too bad there's not mass casualties and escalation of war.
Sorry, Caitlin. All right, 13 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. More sports news all coming up when we get back. Look at the face.
Well, get Neil Young's autograph while you're in there. Seen him somewhere before. Maybe his friend. Let's check it out. Hey, wait a minute. I got to see. I think I saw a super chat. Damn, I think I missed it too. God darn, I think I missed it.
Yeah, but you got a live. I can't. I don't have.
He doesn't know how to read.
2 minutes.
Oh, 2 minutes. You're never going to make it. There you go. Oh, wrong chat. Okay, let's see. What do we got? Oh, Super Chat, LSU Patriot. Oh, LSU with the big World Series win. I used to get so angry when I could see the dumb SMM news clips. Now it's just ridiculously funny. Is the Babylon Bee writing for all of them now? Love you guys. Go Tigers.
You would think, right?
You would think, right, LSU Patriot. Love you, buddy. And LSU Patriot with a $5. I love with Big D is on fire like this. I'm reading what he said. Please don't stop. Great show so far. Please keep us in stitches. There you go. LSU Patriot loves your reads. Somebody gave a $4.99 chat, but I missed it.
Coffee.
I just did.
He did.
That's what I just said,
Oh.
genius.
He put the turkeys in the oven.
If you listen, pay attention to me, the greatest
why would I pay
headlines
attention?
in the world.
You don't know what you're talking.
Yeah, I got it.
Do we have a what even is that?
Okay.
Do we have a what even is that coming out of what you did on Saturday night at the Dublin deck? You have any video from that? Oh,
Can we go back, Aaron, over the week and make a greatest hits of us talking about what we thought was going to happen here? We've been so
yeah.
right.
Psychics.
G-Dog.
Oh,
Harry's singing.
I don't need to ever hear you do that,
Harry's
like
singing.
ever again.
Whoa!
G-Dog with a super chat. Trump
G-Dog.
continues to be
Is he
right for
distracting you, Aaron?
1999.
Big D, G-Dog, 1999. Trump continues to always be right. Thank you, G-Dog. Thank you very much. We
Aaron, I'll
appreciate
bring you some Balvenie
LSU
tomorrow
Patriot
night.
a couple times.
That'll sound like the blues. It's on a Monday. We talked about the Wellness Company. A new administration in Washington, D.C. has brought a lot of positive changes when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system. The reality is, however, that there is only so much the government can do, and that if we really want to make America healthy again, it's going to start at home with each and every one of us. And that's, of course, where our friends at the Wellness Company come in. You see and hear from the Wellness Company doctors all the time right here on Real America's Voice, and you know their products are the gold standard for keeping you and your family safe and healthy. The Wellness Company gives you the opportunity to make sure you are prepared for whatever happens with their series of prescription medical kits that contain an assortment of life-saving medications and a guidebook to assist in the proper use of all medications. Additionally, the Wellness Company offers a variety of products from parasite cleanses to methylene blue to weight loss and so much more that can help you stay healthy and live longer and more satisfying life. Make America healthy again. We'll start at home. Do your part. Protect the health of you and your family. Go to twc.health/voice, twc.health/voice today in order. That's twc.health/voice. Use promo code VOICE to save an additional 10%. So that's twc.health/voice right there on your screen. And use promo code VOICE to save an additional 10% at checkout. All the great products from our friends over at the Wellness Company. 18 past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday. Let's do some more sports and then some more of the greatest headlines in the world. We'll start with sports. Sports is brought to you by our friend Mike Lindell LFS6B is the promo code to use if you want to shop at MyPillow. Slickster, what's going on?
All right, Big D, to the scoreboard we go. Major League Baseball on the diamond right now. The Braves over the Mets 3-2, top of the 8th. The Cincinnati Reds 4-1 over the New York Yankees, bottom of the 7th. Love to see that one. Diamondbacks 8-0 over the White Sox, end of 5. Bottom 5, it's bottom 5. Pirates and Brewers tied at 4. Mariners 7-2 over the Twins, end of 6. Top of the 7th, Cardinals bombing the Cubs 8-1. Orioles blanking the Rangers 6-0 final earlier today. At 9:38, Red Sox at the Angels, and then the Nationals take on the Padres 9:40 first pitch. Folks are calling for some rodeo, so to the rodeo we go. How about this one? Buffalo Bill Rodeo, North Platte, Nebraska, at the Wild West Arena. Here we go. All-around cowboy Austin Hurlburt, $604. Tie-down roping and steer wrestling. Bareback went to Rocker Steiner. He's a good one. He's been around. 86 points on Butler and Son Rodeo's Dodge Avenger. We have steer wrestling first round. Tate Kisvested, 4.2 seconds, 16:54. Team roping, we had a tie. Eric Martin and Ryan Tittle, and Garrett Tenozzi, must be Brittany Posey Tenozzi's brother, and Connor Herron, 6.1 seconds. Saddle Bronc, Wyatt Casper, 84 points on Butler and Son Rodeo's Ridge Walker, picked up 4,371 buckaroos. Tie down roping, second round winner, Monty Lewis, 8.6 seconds. Barrel racing went to Piper Cordes, 17.32 tenths. Nice time there. $3,400 there for that young lady. And bull riding, last but not least, Gavin Mitchell, 77.5 points on Butler and Son Rodeo's six-shooter, $5,794. $157,149 was the total amount on that rodeo. And here's one. Auburn's Bruce Pearl calls for Trump to get Nobel Peace Prize after announcing Israel-Iran ceasefire. Trump announced Iran and Israel agreed to a ceasefire. Ryan Gatos of Fox News. This was published just about an hour ago. Auburn Tigers men's basketball coach Bruce Pearl called for President Donald Trump to be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. I think we mentioned that already on the show ourselves, as Israel and Iran apparently agreed to the ceasefire. Trump, after the U.S. launched military strikes on Iran's 3 major nuclear facilities, with the Islamic Republic responding by firing missiles at a U.S. bar in Qatar, announced on Truth Social that Israel and Iran agreed to a ceasefire. Congratulations to everyone. It has been fully agreed by and between Israel. I'm not going to read that. We already wrote that. But Trump praised both countries for their stamina, courage, and intelligence to end what he called the 12-day war. This is a war that would have gone on for years and destroyed the entire Middle East, but it didn't and never will. God bless Israel. God bless Iran. God bless the Middle East. God bless the United States of America, and God bless the world, he said. Pearl, the chairman of the U.S.-Israel Education Association, was among those who praised Trump for his military maneuvers in recent days. This is what a peacemaker and the leader of the free world does. He steps in when both sides can't agree, and he gives them an offer they can't refuse, the college basketball coach wrote on X. He should be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. I pray that all sides can offer some grace and keep the peace. Pearl has supported Trump's efforts in striking Iran, saying the president wanted the world to be a safer place. Last week, he expressed support for the president as he weighed in on potential strikes on Iran. Goes on to detail what he had said, but nice for Bruce Pearl to come out. He said what we're already been talking about on the show, and a lot of people are thinking, be a tough one, all right, if he can get that, but that'd be awfully nice if he did, because, boy, I tell you, a lot of people got Nobel Peace Prizes for a hell of a lot less than that one. That's a wrap in sports. Big D, right back to you.
Speaking of sports, you know, one of the people who was kind of on the Tucker, the world's ending, was Strong Strickland. Remember, I think you actually spoke about him.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're good.
Well, tonight, he's at least the first person I've seen to actually come out and say, geez, he said, Trump just brokered a peace deal. Well, I guess I was wrong. So what else are we going to bitch about this week? Going to be a boring week or so. I guess I can tweet about MMA or something. John Jones announced new criminal charges, and that's the end of his tweet. So
yeah, John Jones retiring too, right? He's retiring. I think Joe Rogan said he's retiring.
Yeah, he announced, well, Dana announced that he retired.
Yeah, right.
He was
and of course, he's totally ducking Tom Aspinall. I don't care what anybody says.
Isn't he like 105 years old?
130.
No.
How old is John Jones?
He's 30-something, 37.
40 years old.
37.
I mean, he's still, hasn't even been challenged.
Yeah.
And now the first fight that, honestly, would be a huge challenge, he decides to retire.
Well, Paul, what I wouldn't give to be that old.
7 months.
What's that?
What I wouldn't give to be that old.
You were kidding. That's funny.
All right, Slick. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use if you want to shop there. Let's do some more headlines. Rick Delgado's got them. What's going on, Delgado?
All right. Well, things in Texas are a little crazy lately, especially when you consider some of the things that are going on in the legislature as Texas Dems oppose bill to keep squatters out of homes. You heard that right. Texas took decisive action in favor of property owners last month when legislation known as the Squatters Bill was passed, offering protection against bad faith tenants and serial squatters. But predictably, Damon, Democrats opposed the bill and using a familiar argument seen from the party when it comes to deporting illegals, claiming due process is being stripped from the squatters and the squatters need rights. Here's Representative Steve Roth talking about the Democrats' cut number 4 in Texas. Again, taking homes away from legal owners of them in Texas to give them to freeloading squatters, cut 4.
Senate Bill 38 going to the Texas House, and this bill seeks to keep squatters out of our house. Democrats have fought for 2 hours for the right I don't even know how to say this, for the right of people that don't belong in your house to stay in your house in the event that you leave for a month or two and a squatter goes in and takes your house over. Democrats are fighting for the ability of those people to be able to stay in your house. It's the most jacked up thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, exactly. As Toth explained, Democrats are fighting for the ability to people to steal your house.
I mean,
this is what Democrats are for, and again, you look at it's.
And that's where in Texas.
Yeah, this is in Texas. Jasmine Crockett's probably area.
What you should do there is you should just unlock your title and steal the equity out of you. I don't even know. How could they pull this off?
Who knows?
The stupidity of this.
But again, this is again what we're dealing with the Democratic Party.
Yeah, burn the house to the ground.
All about let's elevate the criminal. Let's make sure that the criminal gets taken care of, because I think that's part of their plan. Really, right? Is to think about it, Paul. It goes back to you're going to own nothing and like it.
Yeah.
They're going to have people steal your house. And you're not going to own it, but you're still going to have to pay for it, and you're going to have to smile and like it.
It's unbelievable.
It's amazing. So there you have it.
All right, let's hit the break. Philip Patrick from Birch Gold is going to join us. Lots to talk about with him. Rio Reset, gold, the Fed, rates. Cover it all when we get back right after this.
What kind of money do you think John Jones would make if he comes out of retirement?
I think he asked for $100 million to do this fight with Tom Aspinall.
100.
And I think they were willing to give it to him.
And he dodged it?
I think he dodged it because he just doesn't want to fight him.
I don't think he wants to.
that way?
I don't think he's dodging him. This guy's an animal.
I agree.
He's undefeated. He's never lost a fight.
Why retire after making the guy wait 7 months for your biggest payday you've ever had by far?
I mean, last time you're on a treadmill, it sucks.
He doesn't really even cut though. He fights. I mean, he fights almost.
But you train your butt off. I mean, it's 37 years old.
Oh, but 9 figures.
Yeah, well,
take the fight, dude.
I would be. Maybe it's just a bargaining ploy for now to drive that $100 million up. I just can't call John Jones a coward. The guy's so good.
I wouldn't call him that either. I think he's ducking him. I do think that.
I would love to see that fight. You know what? I would love to see the replay of that fight because there's no way in God's name I can stay up to 1 a.m. when those fights go. It was fun working out in the heat today. You were out all day working in the heat, right?
Oh.
I was finishing a demo project just to get it ready for. It just stunk. There was no air. Boy, Vance is just so good on. You watch this interview? He's just so lucid.
No, I didn't see it yet.
It's just his recall ability.
I'd like to know if the reports that said he was pushing back that we shouldn't get involved was also part of the decoy to make everybody think like.
I know. I would love to know.
Or
all of
did
that.
he really feel that way? I'd love to know that.
Who, Vance?
Yeah.
I mean, he could definitely.
There was
play his
reports
role,
that he
that's for
got
sure.
into it with the Israeli defense minister or whoever, saying, he didn't think we should be involved, making everybody think like
Look,
maybe we weren't going to do anything. And I don't know if that was part of the play.
It had to be.
Or maybe
they seemed so lockstep with each other.
Yeah, but maybe there was
seems like
something
such a good soldier.
that there were things that Israel was asking for that are like, no, we're not going to do that.
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday night. John Kerry, he's got an interesting take. He says, you cannot bomb away the memory of how to make a bomb.
Like Horton hears a who.
Let me read that again.
Yeah.
You cannot bomb away the memory of how to make a bomb. That's John Kerry's take, former Secretary of State.
Well, you know what? He's a world leader there, Damon, with thoughts like that. Because, of course, people that have been exploded by our bombs, I'm sure they don't remember anything.
Right. The guy who ran the Maidan revolution from the inside with the CIA. Yeah, well, keep talking, jackass.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
Harvey
so
Munster, right?
full of it.
All right, live from Studio 6B, 30 minutes past the hour. We were supposed to be joined by Philip Patrick at Birch Gold, but we are still efforting a connection with him. And if he does join us, we'll get him right on, talk about, because there are some things to talk about with the Fed. And Paul's been on this, and he says he keeps seeing a pathway to the markets to explode. Well, markets to explode, if you have risk assets, I would say you're definitely seeing that pathway now, because the Fed's going to have to, under the pressure not only of Trump, but the pressure of deflation, which is everywhere. Some say he's already too late. And I listened to Tom Lee talk about this the other day from Fundstrat, who I love, who I think is one of the smarter guys out there. And he says the deflation is everywhere. He can't figure out what the hell Powell's seeing at this point. But now Powell last Wednesday said that he was concerned that jobs markets could start to really break down. Friday, you had Governor Waller saying that the cut to maybe cut in July, labor market weakening, and there's no inflation. And then Monday, Governor Bowman says the cut in July, labor market weakening, no inflation. And then Austin Goolsbee also says the cut in July, labor weakening. So it seems like the Fed is getting ready to flip this into at least cutting rates. And what normally happens, and this is why I say risk assets, get ready to go if you're in risk assets like gold, crypto, anything like that. Because normally what happens is they're too late to the party, then they cut, and then they realize their cutting is not affecting the things they were worried about because they're too late. And then you got to fire up the money printer, go burr. And when that happens, risk assets go vavoom. So if I had to guess, I'd say that's the path for the rest of the year. If it continues on like this, but we'll see. Paul, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I think the rates should come down. I think they will, but I honestly think this is such a. I think they fight Trump at every turn. I think the Fed is a spiteful gang, and I think they do what's best for the Fed, not what's best for America. I think they are, honestly, I think the Federal Reserve is the greatest threat to our republic, to be completely frank. But let's see if they comply. Let's see if they go along with Trump's need for a point cut. What do you think? I mean, I think 1 point this economy would explode.
Well, we won't get that. If we get a quarter point in July, I think that would be the most we would get. And then, of course, there is no meeting in August. So then you're into September, and I think you probably get, depending on what the labor market shows, probably get a cut the rest of the year. So maybe you get, maybe not every month, but maybe you get 2 or 3
How many
before
cuts
now and the end of the year.
has Trump gotten in all his time as president? None.
He hasn't gotten any.
None. You don't think
Maybe the month he came in, maybe January there was one. I'd have to go back and look. I don't know it off
I
the
don't
top
think
of my
there was
head.
ever any.
There may not have been. He maybe cut all last year.
Way they were like,
because I remember they cut leading up to the election because people were saying he's trying to influence the election back then. I do remember that. So, all right, let's do some. What have we done here? We did sports last segment. Let's do some headlines. And with the headlines brought to you by our friends at Eternal Life Coin is Rick Delgado. What's going on, Delgado?
All right. Well, I don't know if you saw this, Damon, but one of your favorites, Lisa Murkowski, suggests that she could become an independent in the right circumstances. That's
She's
right.
She's independent already from all reality.
The senator out of Alaska, one of President Trump's most vocal critics in the Senate GOP, said Monday that certain situations in which she'd consider becoming an independent and caucusing with Democrats, even though she already does.
Well, I mean, okay, what's different?
Yeah, exactly. That may be a possibility, she said. Murkowski asked how she'd respond if Democrats won 3 seats in 2026, the midterm. Said, we're going to let you pass bills and benefit Alaskans if you caucus with us. She started right off the hook right there. If this would help Alaskans, of course, you know what she means. Of course she's going to do it. It's all about what's good for her, never what's good for actually the country. In March, Murkowski told reporters her colleagues, her Republican colleagues, were afraid of going against Trump and then ally Elon Musk, and said the pair's work reducing the federal workforce was traumatizing people. Traumatizing is her quote. There is some openness to exploring something different than the status quo, she said, but switching parties likely isn't the answer. But now that is.
All right, Delgado, hold it
we'll
there.
See what happens with Lisa. Good luck.
We'll get back to the news, 36 past the hour. Please welcome precious metal specialist from our friends over at the Birch Gold Group, Philip Patrick. Mr. Patrick, how are you? I don't hear Philip, so...
Cat got your tongue.
oh, there he is. Mine's a little low.
No,
he's got a terrific shirt on, though.
All right, Aaron, try to work it out with him, I guess, off the air, and then let me know if we can hear him. I can't hear him. Doesn't sound like he was on the mic. So Delgado, go ahead. Give me another story. We'll try to work that out.
In a stunning blow of bipartisanship, believe it or not, ex-Biden official praises Donald Trump's handling of Iran and says Harris would not have had the courage or fortitude. In a stunning honest admission, a former Clinton and Biden advisor publicly applauding President Trump for his successful Operation Midnight Hammer.
Who is
Mr.
this?
Pelosi. This would be Jamie Metzi, a former National Security Council staffer under President Clinton and ex-deputy staff director under then-Senator Joe Biden, praised Trump's leadership. However, Metzi also cast doubt on whether Harris would have the courage or fortitude to do the same. He says, I'm not a fan of many of Donald Trump's actions, but I will speak openly and honestly when he takes bold steps defending American interests, as he did tonight. He says, I'm not a blind loyalist, tribalist, and I'm perfectly comfortable praising Trump for the bold and courageous actions in support of America's core national interests, as he took a stinging rebuke, of course, of the former vice president, saying that Kamala Harris would not have had the stomach to do it. So there you have it, coming from the Democrats, some of the honest Democrats. This one coming from Slay News, slaynews.com.
I don't know about that. I don't think she would have made the decision, by the way. I think someone else would have probably made it for her. But who wants to imagine any scenario with her in charge anyways?
Yeah.
I mean, please.
How could anybody take us seriously at any negotiation?
I mean, do you think we would be where we are, given the same situation with the same players, except take Trump out and put her in there? Think this would have played out the same way? Think they would have been so afraid of her to think that we're not going to FAFO here like they are right now with the president we have?
We never would have gotten
maybe, but I doubt it.
We never would have gotten the 60-day deadline. She would have just said, "Oh no, it's taken care of."
Well, she would have asked her buddy Obama, well, now, what did you do? You flew in how many billions on a pallet? Okay, how did you arrange that? That's what she would have been asking.
Right.
All right, what else, Delgado? Anything else?
Also, John Fetterman praising the president.
I saw
saying
that on Saturday night.
Iran is the world's leading sponsor of terrorism and cannot have nuclear capabilities. I'm grateful for and salute the finest military in the world. Even Trump skeptical columnists in the New York Times said the president got it right. Brett Stevens called Trump's decisions courageous and correct, and David French said the move was right on social media. It's basically it's kind of a mixed bag when it's coming from the Democrats on the left, but as you can see, some of the smarter ones, or the ones who are have a little taste of reality, are coming forward and saying, you know what, this was the right thing to do, and it needed to be done, and he handled it just the way he said. So that is coming from again, Slay News.
All right.
Do you guys want to see a cool report? This kid, Nate Friedman, does good independent journalism. It's 2 minutes. He really does a nice job of exposing a bunch of...
now, is this a clip of yours, Paul?
Well, it's not mine. I didn't do it. Nate Friedman did it.
No, but I mean, you brought it to the show. Have you listened to it?
Maybe.
Okay. I'd love to see it as long as you've listened to it. Aaron, did you listen?
Oh,
okay.
boy. I listened to it twice.
All right, fire it up, Paul. Let's go.
Do you want to see Israel destroyed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I mean, your pin says you're Jewish, right?
At this point, I do. I used to believe in the one democratic state solution.
What do you do for work?
I don't.
You don't work?
Yeah. Okay.
Why not?
I don't have to.
So you did well.
I haven't worked since I was 27.
Now, I think she actually is working, and as a professional protester. Here's her protesting without her sunglasses on. She usually does have them on. Here's her saying HP profits from Israel's torture of Palestinian political prisoners. Here's her saying democracy is not for sale. Back again with the Palestine flag, and again with the South African flag. Now, it's not just her, as we know that they work in teams. Look at this blonde woman beside her. I found her at more protests than any other paid protester I've exposed in the past. I found her at close to 50 different protests, all within a couple of years. So who's behind this team of people chanting for Israel's destruction on America's streets? Their name is Sammy Dune. It's an organization based in Canada, and they are sanctioned by Canada as a terrorist group. In fact, in October of 2024, US and Canada issued joint statements listing Sammy Dune as a terrorist entity. Canada called them a sham charity who funnels money into the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, which is a Marxist organization that recognizes a one-state solution with no Israel. Germany banned the group after members of Sammy Dune passed out candy celebrating October 7th. The founder of Sammy Dune, at a rally in Vancouver, publicly called Hamas heroic on the 7th and said that Hamas and Hezbollah don't engage in terrorism. If you look at the photos of this woman I interviewed, they almost all come from Sammy Dune's website. Now, the Tides Foundation and the Tides Center is behind this, and you remember the chief donor of the Tides Foundation, George Soros. However, all you see is that the Alliance for Global Justice is their fiscal sponsor. But if you lift the hood, you see that Soros gives to Tides, Tides gives to AFGJ, which then gives to Sammy Dune. Soros, along with the New Venture Fund, gave more than $9 million to the AFGJ, which again is the fiscal sponsor of Sammy Dune. They want it to look complicated so you don't see this, but make no mistake, Soros is funding this. It is also important to note that you can't even donate to the AFGJ with Stripe or PayPal or any normal methods, as all of those companies consider them terrorists. Yet they are still walking the streets of New York City screaming for the downfall of America.
You know, these independent journalists like this do such a good job.
Yeah.
And that's a story we're never going to see on mainstream. Nope. We're never going to see that, you know, on network TV. And that kid did a great job, so I wanted to give him a shout out. I posted it on my page. Great. And if you go to my page, just maybe give the kid a follow. He earned it.
All right, we'll wrap it up. Well, hopefully with Philip Patrick when we get back live from Studio 6B right after this.
I saw one of the
Yeah. Let's see if he can hear me, if I can hear him.
Oh, shit. Can you hear me, guys?
Can now. Well, shit, we can.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's been a nightmare day. Sorry, I was a bit
See,
late.
even with that accent, that's charming.
It is.
If I say that, I'm kicked off again.
Exactly.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah.
So.
All right, cheers.
All right, 2 minutes, 20 seconds, we're back.
Yeah, shit, some gold bricks. Like those.
Look at these two all-stars.
Hey, Big D, if you're tight on time, don't worry about sports. You can just zip through it. I don't have anything earth-shattering. I have stuff, but
Everybody's playing the district court judge thing. District court judge orders Trump to restart war with Iran.
a court in Tennessee has ruled that there's no ceasefire.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go.
It's
can't be. What does Nancy Pelosi say about everything?
She's been keeping a low profile.
Well, she's upset about that hammer comment.
Yeah.
She ain't gonna live that down. That's for sure. How did the nerve of them all that make fun of my husband? 2 a.m. naked hammer, Rick. You had to laugh when you saw that immediately, right? Yeah.
Especially when people.
Former Biden official for the Middle East says this is about the best place we could be. I give extremely high marks to this national security team and President Trump for managing this crisis. Oh, my God. Hell must have froze over.
LSU Patriots emptying his checkbook tonight. Another $5. D, did you see, he calls you D. D, did you see Lady Graham's middle school social studies presentation on Iran in Congress today?
No, please.
I'd like to go through his cell phone. What a creep.
10 minutes of my life I'll never get back. No. But he remains, as I say, untouched. Lisa Murkowski, untouched.
The crypt keepers. Skeletons they have.
$7,300 of you watching. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe.
Where are they watching?
On socials.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we got a pretty good number on YouTube.
Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, thumbs up. We appreciate it. Live from Studio 6B, 13 to the hour. Please welcome back now to the show. I think we got everything worked out. Our friend from Birch Gold, precious metal specialist Philip Patrick. Mr. Patrick, how are you?
I'm doing well, guys. How are you?
Very good. Welcome back to the show. So lots obviously going on in the world. Oil markets were telling us that they thought this thing was over as oil 12% down from where it opened. And obviously we've been keeping a track on the market. The Fed, looks like the Fed is ready to maybe flip. You look at what's coming out of some of the Fed governors about the labor market maybe giving way. Obviously, lots going on. Risk assets are positioned, obviously, to do well in that case because, as I said, what normally happens is they cut rates too late. They realize that cutting rates now quarter point is not helping the labor market once it kind of breaks down. And then what happens? The money printer gets turned on and risk assets go va-boom. So whether it's gold or any other risk assets, they're positioned well in that kind of a scenario between now and the end of the year. But let me ask you, we've talked a lot about the BRICS, the Rio reset. What should Americans know about this?
Look, I mean, I'll be actually heading out to Rio. I'm going for the end of the summit, July 6th to 8th. What we're expecting is a formal announcement of a new sort of global trade and settlement system that the BRICS have been working on for about a decade now. So I think it's important to note this isn't speculation. This isn't theory. This is fact now, backed by thousands of miles of undersea fiber optic cables, digital infrastructure, new institutions and central bank cooperation. The ultimate goal here is de-dollarization on a global scale. What they're trying to do is offer a modern alternative financial system that's firewalled from U.S. oversight, with the idea being longer term to try and render the dollar irrelevant. That's exactly why Birch is sending me to Brazil. The dollar's role as global reserve currency is being challenged before our eyes. I actually saw Nicholas Taleb talking on Bloomberg the other day, saying, look, the dollar's position as global reserve is under threat. We're losing it today. And the interviewer said, well, what's your evidence? And he said, look at central bank gold buying and look at gold's performance. And this is all part of the same thing.
So let's just step back one step on what is going on. So what are the BRICS nations doing that's any different this time than maybe what they've tried in the past?
Yeah, it's a great question. Look, they are rolling out now an international transaction and settlement network using real infrastructure. So they now have their own versions of the IMF, the World Bank. They have their own credit rating agencies. They have their own SWIFT rival, their own transaction clearinghouse. What they have now is blockchain-powered rails for transparency and trust. You know, the idea being not to create a new currency to rival the dollar, right? There's lots of those. BRICS are trying to create a new financial network that, you know, system that allows countries to settle trade in their own currencies without dollars involved. Now, this has been talked about before, but they never had the infrastructure. But now they have it. And I think the Rio Reset is that formal announcement. We've been seeing bilateral trade agreements happen outside of dollars, but I think this is creating a system to formalize those transactions.
So have there been actual, I mean, obviously you just made the case, but are there actual, like, real moves that have already been made that you're seeing? Tell us a little bit about that.
Look, it's happening now. Look, it's not going to be a case that the US dollar loses global reserve currency status, right? We are still king. Our currency is still king. It's our kingdom that's shrinking. So there's two aspects to this. One is de-dollarization. And yes, that is happening. US dollar holdings by central banks are now at 25-year lows, right? And it was 25-year lows at the end of Biden's term. It's escalating now. So the world is moving away from the dollar. With regards to the Rio Reset, yes, transactions are starting to happen. What they've done is created the digital plumbing, if you will. Now it's about transactions starting to happen. I think where we are heading now is into a more multipolar world. We've been punching above our weight when it comes to attracting capital. The US is 25% of the world's GDP, 60% of the world's capital. What we're starting to see now is more diversification in terms of international transactions. US debt is no longer the safe haven it once was. And my feeling is, as soon as a nation or a bloc creates a viable alternative to the dollar, we risk losing the official status. And when that happens, I think we're in big trouble.
Paul Nolan said the exact same thing on this, a couple nights ago. You said the same thing. If you lose the dollar as the reserve world currency, it's a obviously huge problem. So what can people who are listening to you right now, how does this directly affect them, and what can they do, and should they be doing anything?
Look, I think there are obviously I'm here from Birch Gold Group, but I've not seen a better climate in terms of fundamentals for precious metals. So watch, and you said it almost yourself at the beginning, what people should be doing, I think, is diversifying and hedging, right? And, you know, we talked about what central banks are doing. Central banks are in a similar position to us, right? They're holding US dollars. They need to use them for international trade. The dollar has been falling in value. Buying power is dissipating. And what they're doing is buying gold, right? Gold in climates like this, it has an inverse relationship to the dollar. So when the dollar's buying power goes down, gold goes up. It tracks inflation. So it's a way to hedge currency decline and inflation, both of which I think are big problems and will continue to be. So I think it's just a case of getting information, staying informed, and structuring a hedge for your portfolio. I say all the time, we've got health insurance, we've got car insurance, we've got home insurance. For me, precious metals provide a measure of portfolio insurance, and I think everyone needs to be looking at that today.
Yeah, amen to that. Exactly right. Philip Patrick from Birch Gold. Again, you can go on your mobile device right now and text the word America. Send it to 989898. It's a great place to start. Just get a look at their free brochure. They'll tell you, see if gold is right for you. It's absolutely free. All you have to do is text America to 998, and that'll get you started and see if it's right for you. So lots going on, my friend. Thanks for joining us. We always appreciate a few moments.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, Philip Patrick from Birch Gold. Again, text America from your mobile device, 989898, to get Birch Gold and see if gold is right for you. It's a good place to start. So exactly what you said, Paul.
I would love to have asked him a question. What does he think the role of this war had on the currency war? Because when you look at history through the lens of the power of the currency and who controls the currency controls the resources, especially the world reserve currency. I would love to know how he thinks this affects BRICS, with Iran being one of those nations, and now Russia's getting their butt kicked a bit too. And, China is obviously going strong, but not great by comparison to the two. I'm just curious how he feels this strategic move, and does regime change need to be in there in an effort to strengthen the Western currency system? I would be really curious his answer on that.
All right, 6 minutes till the hour, live from Studio 6B. Any other news that we didn't hit that you headlines you have?
No, the only other thing was I guess it's not overly important, but I just wanted to that showed satellite images show trucks lined up at Iran's Fordow nuclear facility before the U.S. airstrikes, and satellite images appear to show scores of trucks lined up at the nuclear facility just days before U.S. carried out its large-scale airstrikes. This is from the New York Post. The speculation swirled that Tehran may have been able to move uranium stockpiles before the attacks. The images released by the U.S. defense contractor Maxar Technologies captured more than a dozen cargo trucks lined up outside the Fordow nuclear enrichment site's tunnel entrance on Thursday and Friday. The vehicles came and went over a 24-hour stretch and appeared to move unidentified contents a mile away. So again, we really don't know.
That's why that clip of Netanyahu has my interest on what he means by that.
Knows something.
Slick, anything else in sports? You want to just give us a quick hit?
Well, they just went final. The Mets lost to the Braves 3-2, and the Reds continue to beat the Yankees there 6-1 in the bottom of the 8th inning. That's it.
All right. Take us out, Corey. As always, we salute our military, active and active, police, firefighters, first responders, EMTs, everybody on the front lines protecting us. Thanks to everybody on the show. Aaron, Corey, great job. Harry on the highway sitting in tomorrow night. We'll see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m., right here live from Studio 6B.